about Arizona because there has been a definite break. And post-convention, Joe Biden's up 9 points now in a state that Donald Trump thought 6 months ago was in the bag for him. You can say in the opposite direction, Pennsylvania has tightened up and has gotten tighter in many polls. I've got to say, I've always expected Florida to tighten up, which it is doing. I've always expected North Carolina to stay tight. I've always expected Arizona in the end to tighten up as well, even though I think Biden certainly is looking better there. But I am surprised. I will say I am surprised by those numbers in Pennsylvania. If you look at Philadelphia, if you look at the Philly suburbs, where Biden is likely going to roll up huge numbers. You go to Scranton, which was a former, which obviously is where Joe Biden is from. He's going to outperform how Democrats have done in the past. I mean, Pennsylvania should be a Biden state. So that tightening up is very interesting. But you look at Arizona again, you look at Wisconsin, you look at Michigan. These are states that are starting to solidly go into Joe Biden's column, which is, as Jonathan Lemire and I were discussing last night, is why you're starting to hear Donald Trump talk a little bit about Minnesota, because he's got to find a place to expand the map. If he's going to lose Arizona, he's got to pick up those points elsewhere. But Eddie Glaude Jr., best-selling New York Times author.
Begin again.
You know, it's interesting. This is now the second time the Trump people say, I know what we're going to do. We're going to make this like 1968. We're going to do law and order. And they tried it on June the 1st. It blew up in their faces spectacularly. Donald Trump condemned by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs a few days later. There's a Military Times poll out today that shows the military, which is only 16% Democratic, that the military actually prefers in this poll Joe Biden to Donald Trump. I don't think that's ever happened in my lifetime, that a Democratic nominee did better than a Republican nominee. Maybe it has. I don't know. But for active duty troops, the Military Times, 41% for Joe Biden, Donald Trump, 37%. Much of that is the fallout from June the 1st. So then he decides he's going to exploit the shooting of a black man who got shot in the back 7 times and say it's okay for a white kid who's 17 to run around with an AR-15 shooting people. And you look at these poll numbers in Wisconsin, Eddie, it's blowing up in his face again. These polls, can we put them up? These polls, Eddie, were taken through last night. They were, or the night before. These were taken through September the 1st. And that is the evening after Donald Trump went to Kenosha, and he's down 10 points in Wisconsin. It's not working. Race is not working for him. This BS version of law and order, again, August 29th through September the 1st, the night after he was there, 8-point lead for Joe Biden. I mean, I understand that Donald Trump is a one-trick pony, but man, he's just going straight off the cliff with this twisted, distorted version of law and order.
Well, you know, Joe, no matter his racism, no matter his appeal to resentment and fear, the reality is over 185,000 Americans are dead. You know, over 6 million have tested positive. COVID-19 has gripped this country. And it is the issue, I think, driving voters. His incompetence is on full display in the way he has managed or failed to manage this pandemic and how it has affected American households. Over 185,000 Americans are dead. So he could appeal to law and order. He could try to play the 1968 playbook. He could invoke, resentment and fear. He could do what he did in the midterms. Remember, we heard about the caravan and the so-called contagion coming. People are clear about his incompetence, and folk are dealing with their grief because members of their family have either died or we know people who have died. He can't change the subject when it comes to the effect and impact of COVID-19 on the American public and how that's going to impact this election